Oh, yeah. I am awake and alive.
I'm so great I gotta say it twice and cut it out once. My head's a syrup bottle that's getting tipped over every Wednesday. You're a storyteller in a storytelling podcast, and the only story you're telling now is a story about stories you don't want to tell. What the fuck? Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. I don't listen to puppets, folks, all right? Lily's playing games. She's got a puppet in her hand. She's like poking it up, and then she made the puppet poke at me. Fuck that. I don't listen to puppets. Puppets listen to me, goddammit. I give the orders, and puppets march to my orders. I am the puppet master. I'm not the puppet mastee. Is that how you'd say it? I don't know if that's how you'd say it. I don't know. I don't know if there's an actual term in the dictionary for the guy who's controlled by puppets. Puppet master is a guy who's in control of puppets, but a guy who's actually being controlled by puppets, the puppet mastee. It's got to be, right? Fucking call Webster. Dial him up. Is he alive? Who else is there? Somebody else has a dictionary. Who is there? There's Webster, and then there's Merriam. Call Merriam. Call Funkin' Wagnalls. Yeah, call Rand McNally. Call those motherfuckers. Yeah, that's right. Maybe they have directions to the dictionary factory. I don't fucking care. Getting into these famous pairs of dudes who've written things that you can purchase. Call Thomas. Is he around? That guy's got to be bummed. How bummed is that fucking dude? Holy shit. Thomas Guide. If you don't know, in California, I talked about this on here, I think. There's a thing you can buy. It's a Thomas Guide. It gives you like this grid layout of all the streets. And it's by numbers. Like if you're like, hey man, I'm going over to Santa Monica Boulevard and Western. You can look in the back of your thing and it says A230 by Z11. And then you go to that page and then that's where you're supposed to be going. But then the GPS came along and destroyed the Thomas Guide industry, because it used to be you had to have a Thomas Guide to get anywhere in this fucking town. It was the handiest thing. It's the first thing I bought when I came to LA. Karen and I got here. The very next day we went out. I got her. All right, hold on. This is going to sound awful, but it's true. I bought myself a Los Angeles County Thomas Guide. And she was looking for a job, so I bought her a giant Thomas Guide, like for Los Angeles and Orange counties, just in case she had to work down in Orange County. I knew I was never venturing outside of Los Angeles County, folks. There's no reason for me to go anywhere near Orange County or surrounding areas. However, my wife, I don't fucking care. Here's a map of California. Find a job immediately. What do you expect us to do here in California, for fuck's sake? Get a job. Here's this gigantic fucking book. And here's the thing. My wife and this is not even a joke. I think my wife has a photographic memory. And certainly does for directions. We'll go out and she knows. It's the weirdest thing in the world. I don't know how she does it, but if you were, no matter where you're at in the world right now, if you said to my wife, get to Los Angeles Coliseum, she would get there immediately. Or anywhere she's been in her life, she can get there. And via side street, she doesn't have to go, oh, well, I'll take the freeway and I'll get... No, she can get off the freeway and take 4 left turns and you're where you're supposed to be. I don't fucking get it. I don't know how she can pull it off, but she's the best at it. So that is, of course, the person you want to go ahead and buy the giant Thomas Guide for. Someone who knows everything about every single direction and destination she's ever been in her life. Here, go ahead. Here's a book that you can go ahead and use your thumb and scroll down. And there's a picture, a glorified colored picture of where you're supposed to end up. And she was not, and she never used the Thomas Guide. And it drove me fucking crazy because I'd go, why don't you use the Thomas Guide? And then she'd get us there anyway, and I'd be pissed. I'd be like, why did I waste all that money on the Thomas Guide? Because she was supposed to get a job right when we got to town and go anywhere. I didn't care. But instead, when we moved here, we sat for a month and watched the Food Network. I've told that story on here. All right, so never mind. Nobody cares. When I first moved to California with my wife, right after our wedding, we got here in the entire first month. We hung out and stayed up late. It was awesome. It was great. It was like a big slumber party with someone I could fuck. Like, it was so cool. That was what my whole first month or 2 months were in California. And then eventually she had to get a job. And then we had to get credit cards and run them up. And now she has to have another job. God, she's got to get a lot of jobs. Maybe I should get a job. Well, I got a job. Well, fuck. I don't want to talk about my... Well, I'll talk about it. Well, I'll get to it in a minute. All right, fuck. You don't want to... Do you want to know? You don't want to know about my job. Who's that voice? Is that the puppet? The puppet wants to know? Oh, what happened to your voice? Why'd you screw it up?
I have a sinus thing happening.
Our friend Lily Bunched Up has a sinus infection, which of course has trickled down into her vocal cords, and so she's unable to do a puppet voice for you. Disappointing. I know you've tuned in just to hear Lily's puppet voice. It's late, by the way, folks. This is a late record. It's Wednesday, which I like, but we've sat here. I was a little late. Look, I had a long night, folks. Here's what I was doing all night. Well, not all night, all morning. Well, all night I was working. I had to be at my job. Fuck, I don't want to talk about this yet. Hold on, folks. My ears are. I gotta fix my microphone. Not the microphone. My earbuds. The connection is weird. You don't care. Why am I telling you this? Yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you this, folks. I've been on the. Look, I'm a customer service person at heart. I think we all know that. All right, and this entire show is just about customer service. What you want, I will try to bring to you. I will do the best I can, and I try to do it in a prompt and courteous fashion. I also sell things on the internet, folks. Boy, that S whistled. That was a serious whistling S. I am an old man. My mouth is becoming old rapidly. Like, it's just, I lisp and I hit, like, whistling S's, and Jesus fucking Christ, my mouth just start whittling. Oh, my God. My mouth is just, my mouth broke its hip. I think my mouth broke its hip. I think my mouth should get a discount at the movies. What the hell's wrong with my mouth? God damn it, it's dry and aging rapidly. It should just be checked into a home. The home for old mouths. That's where it should go. I can't imagine the abuse that goes on at the home of old mouths. Oh, the orderlies constantly sticking things in there. Popsicle sticks and cocks. Not a fan. I refuse. You know what? I couldn't possibly put my mouth through the home of old mouths. I can't. I'll take care of it at home until it dies. I can't go ahead and just turn it over to some weird dudes who I don't know what they do to my mouth. All right. Hey, folks, I sell things on the internet, as I've mentioned. And here's the thing. I'm dumb, so I don't know how to set things up. So I have web people who do that sort of thing. But I am in charge of the PayPal aspect. So here, because I can't give my PayPal information to some guy I've never met, Farmer Ryan. Farmer Ryan's my new web guy. And while he does a fine job, I can't just turn over the keys to the kingdom to the man. Oh, my God. He gets into my PayPal account. He's going to get anywhere from upwards of $44 into his. I can't have that sort of thievery occurring. Because, $44 buys, what's that, buy a bag of grain? One big bag of grain? I don't even know. It might buy a flywheel for his tractor. Do tractors need flywheels? I don't even know what a flywheel is. Honestly, I swear to God, it just popped into my head. I don't know what the fuck a flywheel is. But it's got to be more than $44, whatever the fuck it is. Doesn't it go in a watch? I think flywheel goes in a watch, right? I don't know. By the way, you know what's more than $44? A super flywheel. Oh, Superfly. Because the code alone is more than $44 for your super flywheel. Okay. So, anyway, folks, I sell things on the internet, and Farmer Ryan is taking care of business. All right, I'll get to this, folks. Right now, if you dash over to MikeSchmidtComedy.com, maybe not all at once because you will crash the servers, and we can't have that, folks. But if you go right now to MikeSchmidtComedy.com and you go to the Joe Business page, you will see a brand new Joe Business page. That's right. And I will, when you see the Joe Business page, you will go there and you'll say, oh my gosh, this reminds me of something. I'm going to throw this out there as a little incentive, as a little contest for you folks. The first person to write me an email, not a Facebook message, not on my Facebook wall, not via Twitter. The first person to write me a personal email at mike@MikeSchmidtComedy.com and tells me what the Joe Business page is based on gets a free download set of their choice. How about that, folks? That's right. So the first person to write me and go, hey, it's this, I will then, and you got to be right, by the way. That's also, you can't just throw up a shot in the dark. Hey, it's based on you and a bunch of girls. No, that's incorrect. It's based on something in popular culture. And once you see it and you go, oh, yeah, well, hold on a second. It's not exactly popular culture. Let me walk this back. It's based on something I like. It might not be popular culture, but it's certainly based on something. But the first person to write me and tell me what it is will get a download set of their choice. So go ahead and check that out. But right now, the Joe Business page is live with links to, of course, tweakedaudio.com/40. Which, by the way, the earbuds are working now because I went ahead and fixed my tweaked audio. I don't know what it was. There was a crackle on the connection. I don't like a crackle. Actually, I do like a crackle connection. I'm not going to lie to you, folks. That's why I had over at the Hershey factory. I had a crackle connection. I would meet a guy out back. He'd just slip me some crackles, and I would take them and just gobble them down in my car. Do I have to say everything that comes into my head? Do I have to, every unvarnished thought has to come out? I need to breathe at some point, right? Shouldn't I breathe during this show? But you guys don't want that, right? You just want me to talk. You wouldn't want me to breathe. What if it literally? What if I would get a thought out and then just? So I was at the store. I'm not NPR. What the fuck? I actually got. You know what's funny? Jesse Thorne, who is our friend and the host of Bullseye and Jordan Jesse Go, and Put This On, and International Waters. And Jesus Christ, Jesse, do you want to have a free moment in your life to raise your child? How about that? Should I throw that in your lap? Guy's got like 4 fucking shows. Just bought a fucking rocket ship. I mean, like, it's just, and again, that's why I shouldn't cast aspersions. The guy's got 4 shows and bought a rocket ship. I mean, of course he can buy I can't even buy a ship. I can't buy a rocket, let alone put them together. I guess, you know what? Really, when you think about it, a ship and a rocket that I can't afford those, that's not exactly like an indictment of myself. Or ships and rockets cost lots of money. Certainly rocket ships cost a lot of money, and our friend Jesse, though, however, has that kind of dough. Because he's not spending it on razors. Shave that mustache, Jesse. All right. I like Jesse. If he wants to look like Harry Reams, he can. All right, so. That's right. I went Harry Reams on everybody. Actually, it's more like John Holmes. He's got more of a John Holmes stash. Because I didn't want to say 70s porn stash. I want to prove to you folks that I know exactly who was involved in porn. I would have said a Jamie Gillis mustache, but he didn't have a mustache, for fuck's sake. All right. So that would have confused everybody. Although, honestly, 70s porn stars, if I would have said a Jamie Gillis mustache, you would have just nodded because you would have just thought, oh, he's a 70s porn star? Of course he has a shitty mustache. Oh, I could say he has a Tom Byron mustache, but Tom Byron is still working today. Tom Byron is like 55 years old, and he's still jerking off in a corner to get a hard-on to blow a load in a blonde's face. Jesus, fuck. Oh, well, hold on. I'm a security guard. What the fuck do I care? That sounds like a great job. All right. Fuck, I'm doing that, and I'm not getting paid for it. All right. So, folks, what the fuck was I talking about? I get spun around. Where was I?
George and Jesse.
Jesse has his. I was talking about something.
You were talking about breathing and NPR and Jesse.
Oh, you know why? Jesse referred me to a show. Like there's a radio show that here's who I am as a guy. Jesse referred me to a guy at I think KCRW, like a radio station here in Los Angeles. It's a storytelling show, and it was so great. I thanked Jesse, and Jesse was really nice. He contacted me. I've never contacted KCRW. I have not written them to tell them that I would do the show because. Here's why. I talk forever, folks. So in my mind, I don't even know what the arbitrary deadlines are or the guidelines are for their show. What if I call them and they're like, all right, we need a 2-minute story. And I was like, 2-minute story? I'm going to tell a 2-minute story about getting ready for a 2-minute story. I mean, literally, that's... And even then I go over. Even then I don't finish. All of a sudden they're waving frantically at the 2-minute mark, and all I'm doing is saying, hi, folks, I'm Mike Schmidt. Happy to be here at KCRW. I enjoy your radio station. What the fuck? Tell a story. So I have to contact, and to be honest with you, this is so long ago. This might have been 4 months ago that I don't even know if they do that show anymore. So I may have missed my window with KCRW. But I vow to you today, folks, that when I go home today, I will write the guy. Because Lily's making faces at me, and it's pissing me off. Don't make faces at me, all right? I have my reasons, okay? Because I like to work my way. And if I call them, I have to work their way, which I can conform to, but it's like, but part of me doesn't want to do that in my head. Like, I don't want to go and have this guy go, all right, here's what we need from you. And I understand that, and I guess it'll probably advance me and who I am, but maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't fucking know. All I know is it's going to make me stop being me for a certain amount of time and turn over what I do to somebody else, and I fucking hate the idea of that. Is it stupid? Yes. I chose this medium, though, to do what I want to do. But
what if they said you have 20 minutes?
I don't know if I can get a 20-minute story out. Come on, 20 minutes? That doesn't seem like nearly enough. They have to seed an entire programming day to me. That's what, you know what? Then I'm on board. If KCRW says, you know what, Mike Schmidt, come in and just talk. Keep talking until you're done and then go ahead and lock up when you leave. Perfect. That's exactly what I'm looking for from a radio station. And radio's a dying medium. So that's my indictment of them. Radio's a dying medium, so why would I ever want to go to it? It's stupid. It's dumb. Folks, like, I can't lie. It's a dumb thing. Because Jesse was very nice. He gave my name to the guy, and then he reached out to me, and then I did not contact them because I don't have a boss. I don't want somebody to tell me what to do. I know it sounds stupid, and would it have helped me? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if it would have. Because I've done other things that I thought would help me, and then they didn't. So who knows? Well, they sort of did. They exposed me to other people, and which is fine and nice. But I don't know if that's all that I need. All right, so who cares? Getting back to the Joe Business page, folks. So if you go there and check it out, it's pretty amazing. And there's links to everything, and then there's all sorts of fun hover boxes, and you'll learn. You'll see. You'll see everything there is to see on the page in 5 minutes. But so what? It's fun to go look at. Go now. And on the Joe Business page, I can tell you there are links to Thorgar and Yeep, the mugs, at Zazzle.com. There are links to tweakedaudio.com/40. But I will tell you this, folks, right now on the site, I've mentioned that the artwork for the show is for sale. Well, now there are links where you can actually order it via the website. There's a couple of links there on the Joe Business page where you can order artwork. And also, folks, let me tell you this. Guess what we have now? Guess what we actually have now for your order? T-shirts are available to be ordered. That's right. I know it seems weird because I've been telling you all this mysterious stuff about I can't find a T-shirt company or I won't find a T-shirt company. But here's the good thing. I called KCRW. They're going to print some shirts for me. I said, hey, what if I came into the radio show? They said, no, what if we printed shirts for you? I said, done. Sounds like a deal. No, I called around. I've been looking around all over the place trying to find a shirt place, and I narrowed it down. There were 4. I said, you know what? Here's what I decided. I'm not going out of state anymore. I can't call people down south. I can't call people in the Midwest. And then a lot of you people were very nice, and you recommended people out east, which seemed weird to me that every suggestion I got was further east from me. Like to the point where I was almost in London at some point with a T-shirt company where people, because that's who people know, and that's what people who listen to me have. And people in Canada were like, hey, what if you use this company? I can't even imagine the nightmare of using a Canadian company, of the shipping and how much it would cost. And then what is it, in real money and toy money. And I didn't want to fucking deal with it. So I had been looking for a long time here in Los Angeles to find a place. And then finally narrowed it down. I found like 4 that were close to my house. And called them individually and got prices. Everything was it was a little shady with some of them, because it's so funny that you can always tell the difference, because I've done so much business and talked to so many of these people that you can always tell when it's going to be good or bad. So I would call a place, and the guy would answer the phone and he'd be like, hey, I'm Roy. And I'd be like, hi, Roy. He goes, we've been here for 24 years and we'd be happy to do your shirts. I'm like, all right, thanks, Roy. Is there a manager? Oh, no, just me. I'm Roy. All right. Guess who's never getting a call back, Roy? Click. Because I just picture that's a dude with a camper. You know what I mean? And a fucking paintbrush. I don't, no offense, Roy. You've been doing it for 24 years, but that doesn't, and he might be the nicest guy. The website was very nice. But I couldn't bring myself to commit to Roy. Plus, his prices were crazy. Like he was charging me a ton, and I'm like, oh my God, that seems high. Particularly when I started to call the other places, because then I called another place, and this guy's like, hi, I'm Rick. And I'm like, hi, Rick. And I said, and he's like, we've been around for a long time, almost 18 years. We've been doing it. You can go to Yelp and figure us out. And I said, fantastic. I said, how many people you got there, Rick? And he's like, well, right now I'm just here, and my wife will be in a little bit later. All right, Rick. Guess who's never getting a call back? Rick, have you met Roy? Perhaps the two of you can park your campers next to one another and make T-shirts for children with special needs. And then sell them for $5 at a website. And I don't mean to disparage your work. You've been around for certainly 25 and 18 years, respectively. But it doesn't sound like you're going to have what I need. Especially because then I finally get another place on the phone. And I'm not going to say their name yet, because everything's in play. And I was telling you this, there are shirts coming because I've paid half of it. All right, so it's happening. I've made an order. But I can't say this place's name yet, because just in case everything goes to hell, I don't want them to get fucking savaged. Because you people, that's not beneath you people, I've found. Here's the thing. You know what? I was alluding to this earlier. I mentioned I'm in customer service, folks. Well, I sell stuff on the internet through the Joe Business page. Go look. There's a contest. And if people, all right, because I don't know how to do things. I have to set up the PayPal page. Farmer Ryan is, he's on his threshing machine and he's shaving a goat, and then he comes in the house and he works on my website. It's incongruous. I don't know how he does it. But he's outside and he's got his "Thank God I'm a Country Boy" overalls on, and then he walks in the house and he puts on a tie and he fixes my Joe Business page. It's amazing. It's a dichotomy. I can't figure this guy out, but apparently he's born to do this. This is what he's living for. I called his house today. It's funny. And I guess it was his wife who answered the phone. It's a woman, and she said, "Oh," and I said, "Hi." I asked for Ryan. I didn't say Farmer Ryan because I don't know her that well, in that I've never spoken to her in my life. So I said, "Hi, is Ryan available?" She goes, "Oh, he is. Hold on a second, Mike." I don't know this person. And I'm like, oh, hey, hi. I don't know you. We haven't met. She completely ignored me. And she had me on a speaker or something. And then she brought the phone to Ryan because apparently he was out digging a well. I don't know what he does on his farm. Again, I don't want to cast aspersions, but he was out being farmer Ryan rather than business Ryan in the house. So, but she walked with the phone on speaker, and it sounded like a Nazi battalion had marched through his farm. I mean, I don't know. She had the heaviest footfalls. I don't know if she was wearing like big stripper heels or something, but it was loud, man. And then she gives him the phone, and I go, look, I don't want to alarm you, but I think a battalion just marched through your house. And he laughed. He's like, no, it's my wife. And I said, man, that was crazy. Like I could hear, like, did she tie the phone to her shoes? Like it just was this really heavy footfall. I didn't say any of that to him though, because I would prefer that he finish my website rather than me offending him. So I just talked to him today, and he's like, yeah, I'll go ahead and square that up. And he, like I said, he does the actual webpage, but I have to make all the PayPal buttons because I don't want him getting in there and then cleaning me out and then buying more fucking hog feed. Did they make, they what do they eat? Corn cobs and humans, right? That from movies, that's all I know is they eat, because I've seen Snatch and I've seen Hannibal. Pigs eat people. Like that's the whole thing. And I don't know if it's like pigs are predisposed to eat people, or if a pig gets a bite of a human, just goes, wow, this is actually pretty good, and then goes to work. I have no idea. But just that's why I don't eat ham, folks. You wonder why I don't eat ham? Because pigs eat humans. I'm not going to fucking do that. All right. I just don't take on swine. That's all. Ha ha. So, I'm scattershot here, but I was telling you, customer service. So, if you order something on the Joe Business page from me, like the download sets or you make a donation, it will just take you back to my webpage. And you get there's nothing that says thank you for your order or anything, because I can't figure out how to fucking do that. But I get the orders delivered to me when PayPal has a sale registered. It takes a while, but then they'll let me know that there's been a sale, and then I fill the order manually. I send you the links myself, which is great. Except a lot of you are panicking when you don't find out. Like they think it's just some scam that I've instituted to get $25 from them and then never fill their order. Trust me, I am going to fill your order. I promise. I just am dumb and I can't figure out a way to let you know in a paragraph exactly that I'm going to fill your order seconds from now or whenever the fuck I get notified by PayPal. And here's the thing. Most people are nice because they'll write me. They go, Mike, I may have missed something. But I ordered the download set of the podcast at the Caribbean set or something, and I never received anything. It just took me back to your website. So here's my order number. Can you tell me if you received it? Those people are nice. Then there are people who are like, hey, what are you trying to pull? I got that email this week. Literally, that was what it said in the fucking what are you trying to pull? And I went and read it, and this guy said, hey, I just bought your download set, and I got nothing. Zero. Zip. But I bet you got my money because it's showing that my PayPal account is certainly docked for the cash. So are you going to fill this order, or am I going to have to call PayPal and get it? Like I'm not going to read it verbatim, but it was like this guy just came on like a stiff prick, and I'm to the point where I just wanted to refund his money. Like I'm like, you don't deserve my voice. You don't get to fucking have my voice. I'm serious because it's like he's like, hey, are you gonna make good on this, or am I gonna have to go ahead and call PayPal now, dude? It's been an hour, a fucking hour. Are you that desperate for my voice? Which you probably are. I think we all are. Or are you just that shocked and you need to keep track of all your money at all times? I mean, it's not a scam. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm your internet chum. Every fucking Thursday you hear me. I'm not going anywhere. It's not like I'm fucking fake. I'm not computer generated. What if I was? What if I was just a robot, as my friend Paul Goebel would say, and everything that you heard was like fake, and then when you bought stuff from me, you got nothing from me, and it was just a constant money dump. Oh my God, actually, that's not a bad plan. I'm going to create a robot me and have a fake show, and then I'm have all these dummy links, and you're going to send me cash, and you're going to get nothing. And then you're going to send an email to me, and nobody's going to answer it. Robot me will answer it and just say bleep, bloop, blorp. That's what I'll say to you. And then you will have nothing to do. I will have your money. Haha. And I laugh at you. I won't laugh at you. Robot me will laugh at you. I'll be dead. Because once I create Robot me, you know he's going to kill me. This is why I haven't created Robot me to this point. I'm 44, soon to be 45, folks. If I had created Robot me a long time ago, I never would have seen tomorrow. That's how fully confident I am in the maliciousness and homicidal tendencies of Robot me. Because I know me wants to kill people all the time. But if Robot me is just me with stripped of conscience and any sort of filter, well, I mean, I guess I don't have a filter now. I have a murder filter. Like, I haven't murdered anybody, so I guess I have a murder filter. But Robot Me, his murder filter would be completely gone. I'm not building like a robo mic with like a prime directive and a fucking shield. No, Robot Me is just fucking mean. I can't Robocop it. It's just going to be like fucking, there's no prime directive. His prime directive is just fucking murder. That seems weird. I was going to he was taking over the show. Why would his prime directive be to murder? Hold on a second. This is spinning out of control. I can't build Robot Me with his prime directive to murder. His prime directive is to do the show and to do it in a funny way. And to respond to your emails promptly. And then murder. Murder's 3. Murder is number 3 on the list. So Robot Me, he has his prime directive. Do this show and do it well. Answer your emails in a prompt and courteous fashion. Murder. That's the third one. All right. The fuck was I talking? I have no idea what I was discussing. I started talking about Robot Me, and then that's it. Because look, folks, if you can't have a flight of fancy describing your own murdering robot, when can you? I've lost my way. I need to build a Robot Me to Sherpa me back to reality. You know what? I need to build 2 Robot Me's. 1 to guide me wherever I'm going, and 2 to just murder. But of course, number 1 will be to do the show in a very funny way. All right, so. Because you know what? I bet Robot Me doesn't forget his place. Robot Me doesn't go off and start talking about himself or talk. Actually, Robot Me would talk about Human Me. Well, no, Robot Me would talk about Robot Me because he can't talk about Human Me because I'm dead. Murder. All right. I'm confused. I'm very confused by Robot Me and his plan. Even though I built him. Fuck, I built him from the ground up, and he's going to turn on me like that? I put murder number 3 on purpose so he can do the first 2, and he's not going to kill me. But I said he was going to kill me again because I wouldn't see tomorrow. God damn it. I'm in a loop. I'm in a fucking murder robot loop. That's not good. You don't want to be in a murder. Don't ever get in a murder robot loop. If I can tell you one thing about myself and my life, it's that you don't ever want to be in a murder robot loop. However, conversely, any chance you get to be in a robot murder loop, jump in. So fun. All right. So Ryan's on the farm and he's doing things and he doesn't know about robots. He's got a tractor and sheep and chickens. I did not hear chickens. I was very disappointed about that. I will tell you that when she had the speakerphone on and she stomped her way with her fucking huge Doc Martens, whatever the fuck she was wearing. I was mad I didn't hear chickens. God, I wanted to hear chickens. That would have been awesome. So I talked to Ryan and he was telling me about the website and telling me that it was done and squared away. And I said, good. And there's a few things to be hammered out that should be done. He told me they'll be done at 1 o'clock this morning, which is tonight. But by the time you hear this, it'll be yesterday. So it should be up and ready. It should be up there waiting for you to order. I will tell you this. There will be a place when you order the artwork. It should have a little box because I was able to tinker a little bit with PayPal to where it told you, hey, it'll say, what artwork do you want to choose? And then you got to tell me which one you want because then it'll be autographed as a print and all that kind of stuff. And then also, there's links to purchase shirts. And there's small, medium, large, extra large, 2XL and 3XL shirts. Red Boy and Scar Panda are both available. And I think, well, all right. Oh, fuck. I don't know. Look, I don't know what I'm doing, folks. All right. You know who would be really good at building a website? Robot Me. Because he would just be able to take his finger and stick it into my hard drive and boom, there you go. He builds it because he's Robot him. He knows. He can talk to other robots. I can't do that. I stick my finger in my hard drive. What happens? I get electrocuted. I'm dead. Robot Me takes over and you don't know the difference. Except Robot Me would do the show in a funny and courteous fashion. Or no, he does it well. He does it well. I don't know I don't even know his prime directive anymore. I just know number 3 is murder. You don't even have to fake laugh at this. I'm caught in a fucking robot loop and you're just like, dude, I just want to leave. I don't blame you. Leave. So the bottom line is the fucking website's up and quit bitching at me about customer service. Well, nobody bitches. Only one guy bitched. Everybody else has been very nice about it. I feel bad. I feel badly that I haven't been able to give them a thing that says, hey, don't worry, things are on the way. But I can't figure out how to do that. But then Lily, I come here and I tell Lily this and she's just like, oh yeah, you just go to PayPal and you make that up. I don't know how to make that up. Bottom line is when you order shirts, I think you have to give me your address or write me with your shipping address. Because there's nowhere to put it on PayPal. Or maybe I guess I should go ahead and try to tinker with that tonight. But what? Oh my God, I just built like 12 buttons. What if I have to build 12 more buttons because I have to change? What if it changes the code just because I give that new page? Oh, cocksucker. That's going to be awful. Folks, if you buy a shirt, email me your shipping address. Although I guess if you use PayPal or whatever, it should just come up, right? Shouldn't it come up? Lily doesn't know. She just wants out. I don't blame her. She's just like, I just got to get the fuck out of here.
I make PayPal buttons. It should automatically send you their mailing address and everything.
I hope so.
But if it doesn't, you get their email and you can respond to them and say, hey, I'm confirming T-shirt, art, whatever size, you're mailing it.
Why do I have to do all this work? Why can't these people just fucking write
Because
me?
they're giving you money. You have to do the work.
Fuck that. Actually, I like it better where I don't contact anybody and I just get the money. And then everybody's like writes me about it, 9 minutes later and goes, "Hey, dude, where's my shirt? Fuck, I gotta mail it." And it was only one guy. It was only one guy who did that, but it was enough to make me go, ah. That's right. I made extended vowel sounds. I was so upset at this guy. So, folks, what I'm telling you is I've had the yin and yang of customer service this week. I've had the good and the bad, the yin and the yang. And by the way, that does not mean that Siamese twins purchased any of my shirts. I don't know if you're aware of that. But although if they do, they need to buy a 3X. I should tell you that, folks. If you're a Siamese twin, if you and your Siamese twin Yang need to buy a shirt from me, buy the 3X. Honestly, it's larger. You'll both fit it. Well, I mean, no, actually, wait a minute. Siamese twins, that's just two heads on a normal body, right? What else could it be?
It could be two people that are joined with a flesh here that are.
Oh, then a 3X isn't going to help those people, right?
It could be somebody who's joined together at the head.
Holy shit, buy a hat. I need to sell hats. That's what I need to do. I need to sell hats for Siamese twins. Like a big, giant fucking like soup bowl hat. Oh my God, that'd be awesome. You know what? It's funny because everybody, I get all these things. If you go to fucking Zazzle, all these places, everybody's like, dude, you should sell baseball hats. And it's Max and I, in the beginning, when we were trying to figure out what to do, he actually proposed some baseball hats and he sent me the fucking mock-ups for them and they looked amazing. But I never told David this. Like, you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to do like fedoras, like for my show, like some kind of weird, fancy, like fucking, not a. I mean, I don't know why. It just seemed like, because again, everybody does something different. Like when Never Not Funny did the baby clothes. And I was like, that's kind of fun, baby clothes. And then in my head, I was like, what can I do? I go, oh, and we were actually talking about possibly doing grocery bags. And then fucking Never Not Funny did grocery bags. I'm like, see, because part of when I think alike, where we're like, we want to do something different. You don't want to just go, hey, here's a keychain, fuck you. I mean, I don't want to, well, although there's something to be said for, hey, here's a keychain, fuck you. Hold on a second. Actually, nobody does that. Maybe I do that. Maybe that's what I fucking do. Hey, here's a keychain. Fuck you. God damn it. That's the plan. No, I always wanted to do different stuff. So, like, whenever I talk to David, I'm like, dude, we got to do a shirt, but we'll do this, and let's do a tank top or a fucking baby doll tee, or let's do a fucking, a banner that you could tow from a plane. I mean, I don't fucking know. All right, so what the fuck? None of this means anything. The point, I can't even find somebody to make shirts. I'm going to find someone to make a goddamn fedora. All right, so I ordered T-shirts. I don't even know if I talked about this. I got into a fucking robot loop and I lost it. But I talked to a couple dudes and it didn't work out. And then finally I found a place in town that was fancy. Like it wasn't named. I mean, the other places had names that sounded like companies. But then when you called them, you heard a dog barking. And it was like I was calling Ryan on the farm. I was like, fuck that. I need a pro. So when I called this other place, they had to put me on hold twice and then transfer me somewhere. I'm like, they are getting my business. Absolutely. I don't care. If you put me on hold twice and transfer me, that means you're a real legit operation. But suffice it to say, I will tell you this, though, also, there is a drawback. Because I don't like the mom and pop idea of these guys with like just a wash tub in their backyard full of paint and they're making my shirts. I don't like that idea. But I also don't like going to a Galaxo T-shirt comp and having them blow me off and treat me like just anybody. Look, you got to jerk me off a little bit if you want my business, right? Don't you? Even though but that's the thing is, for fucking mom and pop, I'm this huge order. But for these other big places, they're just like, I don't know who the fuck you are, but we have a minimum of this. If you can't meet it, get off my phone. And so I got this woman on the phone. She was very nice, but she was super, I was like, yeah, I'd like to talk about my design. She goes, you know what? If you go to our website, you can go ahead and fill out all the information, get that sent to us. And I go, I understand that, but I wanted to talk to you because I have some questions about the design. She's like, look, we get that, but you know what? It's really best if you go through the website because we have so many orders. It would really help us get your quote. And I go, well, then when will you get to this? She goes, I'll get to it this afternoon. I said, fine. So I went on the website. I figured out what I had to fucking do, and I sent them whatever. I told them, and I sent it. And then she responded in kind, and she had a quote like that afternoon. She's like, "It's this much and this much, and if you want this, this goes here and this goes." And I was like, "All right, dude, I can." Look at this immediately already. We're working. So I called her up and I said, "Okay." And the thing is, there was a certain minimum I wanted of shirts, but they have much more than I wanted, but I didn't care. It seemed like the place to go. So I said, let's do this. So I wrote them and I said, I'd like to do this. Here's the order. Here's the artwork. And I sent them all the artwork. And I said, put it together and then give me a full quote based on everything that I need and what you got to do with the artwork. Because again, the shirts, we were doing the watercolor shirts for a while, and then having those. It's this process called direct to garment, and it's very difficult, I guess. So the screen printing is what we did with the prints, the Minneapolis shirt, and also the Milwaukee shirt, the Golden State or the San Francisco shirt. Those were screen printed, and I liked the way they looked, and they seemed fairly simple. And I was like, let's move ahead, because I said, David, can you do something really cool screen printing wise? He said, sure. He did, and we moved forward. So I sent them to them, and I went to bed because I sleep during the day like a goddamn vampire. Then I woke up. Because she was going to have my quote for me that day, all the invoice and everything squared away. So, sure enough, I went to sleep. I woke up, and there was no email when I woke up. No invoice, no quote. Turned on my cell phone. There's a message from this woman. And she said, hey, we got the artwork. Everything looks great. There are some complications that I need to discuss with you. You need to call me. Now, again, I was trying to order the shirts, and again, there's a fucking complication. And that's when I went on my Facebook page, and I wrote, shirts. Fucking shirts. Unbelievable. And everybody thinks, and some people were like, yay, finally. And I'm like, no. That's not a good thing. It doesn't mean I finally found someone to make shirts. It meant more fucking complications. So the next day, I had to wait, of course, till the next day when they were in there. And I got this woman on the phone, and she was very nice. And she told me, hey, we looked at your artwork. And because the font that you're using, like the lettering on the shirt, is kind of splatter effect. It's like it's almost like a spray paint effect. They said that's going to make your screen printing go from a 2-color to a 7-color shirt. I said, why? She said, because it breaks up. Like there's a, what's the fucking thing? Gain? No, gain is a hearing thing. Gradation? Is that it? Something about the gradation of the colors makes it go from black to dark blue to, and when it crosses over on the white, it's more pink. And she, whatever the fuck. I stopped listening after 7 colors, but she explained why. And I said, so what does that do to my price? And it added about another $400 to my order if I wanted to do that. I said, look, I'll call you back. So I called Mex, and he's like, dude, ask them if I put it in a box, if that does anything, it'll be in a self-contained picture instead of them having to put it on there. It'll be like more of an iron-on effect. And then I said, all right, fine. And what's funny is, I would love for David to call the T-shirt companies, but I understand he can't because I'm the one, I'm the one who's paying, and I'm the one who has all the questions and all that stuff. But I don't know how to talk about gradation and bullshit and artwork. So in Chicago, Mex actually he went to the place that I was using, and it worked out great. But then after a while, I needed to be the one who kept calling and ordering, so Mex fell out of it. But I was looking for new places. I was wishing David would be on the call so he could talk to these people and ask them art questions, because I don't know a fucking thing. I'm like, hey, do you have shirts? Do you have paint? Sold. I mean, I'm so tired of it. So I talked to Mex, and he made a proposal. I said it to her, and she said, no, that won't work. And so I started to shop around, and I said, look, do I need to go to a different place? I talked to Mex, and we both decided, you know what, fuck it. If these people can do this, and here was what Mex's quote exactly was. He goes, Mike, if they know about gradation and they were willing to tell you about that instead of just going ahead and taking your money and making a shirt and making it look not the way you wanted to, he goes, maybe they're worth going with. Maybe you should consider them, because they actually were the first place that was honest with me. Everybody else was just like, yeah, oh yeah, we can do that, yeah. And then we get the shirt and we'd be like, you didn't do what we wanted at all. But these people were very quick to make sure that it was going to be what I wanted. And like, you don't give a fuck about shirts anymore. I get that. But finally, I said to Max, I go, look, he goes, what do you want to do? I go, I want to throw money at this and make it go away. I just want my fucking shirts. I don't care. He's like, well, we can figure this out. He goes, I can make a whole new drawing. I could make new lettering. But as you will see on the Joe Business page, that would have monkeyed with that design. And I was like, fuck it, dude. I don't mind. I go, it'll all shake out. I don't mind paying the money as long as the shirts look good. And he's like, all right. So I called her the next day, and she was very nice, because I even explained to her, I go, look, before you agree to anything or disagree with me or get me off the phone, I said, I have to talk to you for a while, because I need a comfort level from you people, because I'm so used to dealing with people who just want me off the fucking phone that I need you to tell me that you're going to be, every step of the way, you're going to keep me informed. You're going to give me, and she's like, oh yes, absolutely. Once we get an order in play, I will be with you. Anytime you want to talk to me, call me and I'll answer any questions. I'll send you any proofs. I'll send you photos, whatever you need. So I said, all right. And then she said, well, we were able to figure it out. By the way, we're working out to where you only have to do 3 colors instead of 7. I said, how does that work? She goes, well, because you're making an order and we feel that you're going to keep doing business with us, we can actually knock it down some. I said, but that's not going to decrease the quality of the shirt. She goes, no, it'll be exactly what I told you, but we're just going to adjust the price for you. And it's so funny. When someone's nice to you after everybody else has been, I felt like a dog who's just like in a kennel and then he finally finds the family who wants to be nice to him after he's been getting hit in the face with a fucking newspaper forever. Because when she said that she would send me photos and do all this stuff and keep in constant contact with me, I'm like, good, perfect, I'm in. And so I ordered the shirts. And so now the shirts are available to you. This story went nowhere other than tell you the shirts are available to you. But I'm so fucking happy, and it's taken so goddamn long to find a place that'll do it. And you guys were great. You all had great suggestions. Our friend Joe, who actually I met in D.C., he had his shirt company, and all these different places who tried to do it. But I just felt a comfort level with doing something close. I mean, this place is 2 miles from my house. I didn't even know it fucking existed. But great. Now, look, let me tell you this, though. I haven't seen a goddamn thing. I mean, I got an invoice and I paid half and I did whatever I had to do. And so they're in production and they told me I would have my shirts by next Tuesday, which is great. But again, I've seen nothing. There's just promises. Promises in the dark, Pat Benatar style. So I don't know whether that's true or not. But there is one thing that I have right now, folks. It's something I haven't had for a long time. There's hope. And hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things. But right now, there's hope. This is the 40-Year-Old Boy, and coming up later, let's oil up Mary Hasty.
What about punk? You know any punk?
Francis is a punk rocker. Francis is a punk rocker. Francis is emailing me frantically now.
What is that?
That's Sheena is a punk rocker, but it's Francis is a punk rocker.
I thought this was the Ramones.
Yeah, it is the Ramones. Sheena is a punk rocker. It's the same thing.
No, this is like Blitzkrieg. Standing in a straight line.
Had a lot of front line. A little in a stand line. Francis Woodell. It's the same song. It's a fucking Ramones. Literally, Rock and Roll High School is Blitzkrieg Bop. Is Sheena is a punk rocker. They're all the same thing.
No, I don't. All right.
Ask Marky Ramone. He'll tell you. Meet me at 53rd and 3rd, and I will tell you that Francis Woodell would fit into any of our songs. Is that Tom Snyder? There is no hope. I thought there was hope a second ago, but that's changed. During the break, hope disappeared. Actually, hope was... Look, there's shirt hope, all right? But that's a different kind of hope entirely. I have shirt hope, you have shirt hope, we all have shirt hopes. But personal hope for me, it's out the window, all right? And I'll tell you why. Well, hold on. Before I tell you why, before I get into that, let me get into this. All of us together, gather around your, sit in front of your fireplaces and stare into your iPod vaginas. Let's all, and think of what I'm saying as a group, as an entity, together, all of us. Can we all just adjust our expectations for me with the Warrior Dash in Portland? Can we do that, please? Because a lot of you are writing me and making it sound like you think I'm going to win the Warrior Dash in Portland. That's probably not going to happen. Let's put it this way. I consider it a win if I don't die, all right? If I don't die during the race, I'm going to consider that a win because let's take a look back at episode 1 of year 5. There were goals in place. The main goal of the show this year was I was going to become a fucking monster at the end of it physically. I was going to lose a ton of weight and become the guy that I was hoping to be and make some changes, okay? Which I want to do. All right, and I've started. Like I said, I told you last week I was back with Richard, and I was going 2 miles a day, and that stopped. And here's why, folks. It's not for lack of. It wasn't like I got hurt. All right, I was sore as fuck, but I was still able to stretch and make it work. But then Richard had to reschedule on me once and whatever the fuck. That's not his fault. It's not his fault because I could have gone in without him. I don't fucking need him there to hold my hand and make me do shit. I know where weights are. I know how to fucking jump in place and run and lunge and do all that bullshit without a guy barking at me. But did I do it? No. And here's why. Because my fucking head is screwed up. And I'm sure you guys know that. Like, if you smoke and you're like, I want to smoke. I know I'm supposed to, but my head won't let me quit or whatever the fuck. I can't get my head around doing what I'm supposed to do. And that's the thing that you have to fix. When I had surgery in 2005, the whole point was you had to fix your fucking head because it's your head that lies to you. It's your head that tells you to eat like a fat ass. And I still have a fat guy head a lot of the time. So I need to fix that, all right? And so my point is, I'm going to the Warrior Dash in Portland, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to finish it. I'm going to fucking tear it apart and do the best that I possibly can. And then at the end of the year, I'm going to do another Warrior Dash, and we'll compare and contrast, and I'll be in much better shape then, and hopefully I'll be able to do a lot better at that one. But when I come to Portland, I just don't want to let people down by if it takes me fucking forever to complete the course or however the fuck. And look, am I gun shy? Yes. Am I weirded out? Yes. But it gets that way when people are writing me and they're going, dude, we're gonna have a team and shirts and we're all gonna get together and it's gonna be great and then we're gonna go out afterwards and party. And I'm like, dudes, I don't even know if I'm gonna make it off the course alive. I can't be making any fucking Portland plans because people then were like, dude, are you gonna do the one man? And I had initially planned on it, but now. It's so funny. I went to the Warrior Dash website the other day, and I'm staring at it, and I'm like, "Fuck! How much of this can I actually do?" And I think I'm 90%. I can do all of it. All right. The walls are a problem because I will tell you this. I went to poker last week. This is another reason that got in my head. I went to poker last week, and I'm talking to fucking my friends. And they're like, "You're doing this thing. What's on it?" And I go, I told them, and they go, "Is there a wall?" And I go, "Yeah." And they go, "Are you just going to walk around the wall?" And I go, "No, I have to climb the wall." They go, "How are you going to climb a wall?" And in my head, I went, yeah, how am I going to climb a wall? That's fucking weird. Like, I guess I hadn't really thought of it that way. And it got me thinking, and it got me into this weird spiral where I'm like, Jesus Christ, I hope I can finish. Oh my God, I hope I don't embarrass myself, and I hope I don't embarrass people who think they're going to root for me. Wait a minute, people actually think I'm going to do good at this. Well, I want to do good at it. I just want to make sure that we all temper our expectations and don't think that I'm going there to be the fucking Kenyan who wins the entire fucking thing. It's funny, if you'll go, there's a podcast called Three Non-Joggers, and it's my friend Russ McGarry and a couple of guys who hated me. So I went and did that show last week. It was fucking weird. I went and did their show. They sat in with them, and I didn't sit in with them. I was on the fucking phone, which always makes it difficult with 4 fucking people. And like I said, I know Russ, and I've known Russ fucking 20 years. So I could talk to Russ forever, but then these other 2 dudes are there, and they're just like, why are we talking to this fat dude who we don't know? Like, that was the vibe I got. And that's probably not true, okay? It's all in my head. As you know, I can create these fucking scenarios and run with them. But it was just a weird, again, it's fucking Skype, and it's everybody's trying to talk and then not trying to talk, and then I'm talking in circles, and I didn't think I was accomplishing what I was supposed to accomplish on their show, and I thought they would have me on and we could do this like running thing where they would check in with me every month and check out my progress on weight loss and how I was running and all that. And so I basically invited myself to be a recurring guest on their show, and they wanted none of it. Like that was not in their plan at all. They didn't think that was going to be a thing, but they agreed to it reluctantly, which was kind of funny to me. There's like, yeah, I guess that would be a good idea. Oh, and I felt so stupid then for launching it because I thought we were having fun, but I forgot to realize that it's me and Russ and not and these other dudes have no fucking clue who I am. So whatever the fuck, who cares? But my point is, Portland is happening. I just went to look at plane tickets again this week, and I'm in. I don't want to chase anybody off and think that I'm not in. I just need to fucking fix my head and really be ready and get there and be in. And I'm not telling you guys you need to come there and be like, woohoo, Mike, and rah-rah and clap and bullshit like that. That's not the case. I'm just hoping I don't fucking die, which should be your goal every day, pretty much when you think about it. It should be your goal every day, whether you're walking in the street or driving. You hope you don't fucking die. But when you're exacerbating that by adding in the element of fire and broken cars, then you have to realize, well, I have to actively hope that I don't die during this event. And so that's what I'm doing. And we will see what happens. But the problem is with working out, it's just, I worked that fucking soul-crushing, hope-destroying graveyard job, and I'll get to that in a second. But I wind up working that, so then I get home at like 6:30, 7 a.m., and then I have a second wind. But not a second wind enough to go work out at 7 a.m. Like it's and I couldn't anyway because Richard can't do it that early. But then I'll stay up until like 10 or 11 because I have to do things during the day when real people are awake, like, Farmer Ryan or the fucking T-shirt people. I have to stay awake and contact them, and also trying to look in other cities to go fucking play, but that's whatever the fuck, that's on hold right now. But the problem is I need to stay up and deal with that. And then when I get to bed, I'm supposed to see Richard around 4 or 5 because I like to go right when I wake up. But if I go to bed at 10, I'm not getting up at 4. If I go to bed at 11, I'm certainly not getting up at 4. I'll get up at like 6. But then if I get up at 6, then I got to go to the gym for 2 hours, and then I got to go to work. It just fucking eats away my day. I know this, and it sounds like you don't fucking care. I get that. You don't fucking care. I'm just trying to convince myself and talk myself into doing it, and it's just so strange. And I've I wind up, like I said, Richard had to reschedule. Fuck, I've postponed him like 5 different times, moved him around to certain days, moved him to different times because I find myself staying up. All of a sudden, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I haven't been to bed yet. And I'm supposed to see him at 4, and I'm like, fuck, I can't do that. So I'm just trying to get my head around my life at this point because I'm stuck in that fucking gig. And like, this is depressing and awful and unfunny, and I get that, but it's just like, fuck, man, I go to that job and holy shit, and it's worse, like, because at that job, I security guard, whatever the fuck, I just, to me, it's just, I'm collecting a check and I'm there, and whenever shit happens I gotta deal with it. That's fine, but when shit happens, I have to be an authority figure. There is no worse authority figure than me, folks. I mean, who the fuck wants, me in a pair of sweats with my long fucking hair just going up and telling you to stop doing shit? Nobody believes that. Nobody fucking has any faith in that. As a presence, I mean, I'm fine there. I can be a presence, but then anytime I have to actively get involved, like, did I talk about the fire alarm on here? Did I talk about that? Holy shit. I'm in the middle of the fucking morning. I was going to go home on a Sunday morning. It's like 5:45. I'm leaving in 15 minutes. The fire alarm goes off in the building. I swear to God, I talked about this, didn't I? And so it went off, and I had to go investigate it. I looked around, and it turned out it wouldn't go off, and so that's fired. So I had to call. I called 911. I said, look, I don't think it's emergency. I don't see any fire or smoke. I had to get fucking firemen out there. Then because I was the authority, I was the only dude there, they had to pretend like I knew what I was doing. So they had to follow me around. I had to take them to show them things. They're like, where are all the fire alarms? And I walked them over. And in my head, I'm like, I'm not the owner of this fucking building, because the owner had left. He went to Palm Springs like a few hours before that. And all right, let me before I get into all of this, all right, I need to cover something else really fast. Attention, people who live in that building who listen to this show. Don't share this with anybody, all right? It's like, because honestly, I wanted to talk about the fire alarm. There was things I wanted to talk about over the past few weeks, and then finally some bullshit happened this week that I have to talk about because I've done nothing else with my life but fucking obsess over this. But unfortunately, I know for a fact there are at least 3 people in the building who listen to the show, and they're going to hear this, and then they're going to, and I just don't need it brought to the attention of the people who I'm about to fucking talk about, that I was talking about them on the show, because you're going to go, dude, Mike totally talked about you on his show, and they're going to go, great, let me listen. And then they're going to hear me bitching about t-shirts for 9 hours and then calling them a dick. And it's going to be very, very bad for me, because guess what? I'm in that office from 10 to fucking 6, and I'm trapped. I'm not going anywhere. So they fucking know where to find me. At the end of the show, I say, you guys can get me at? Well, those people are like, I know where I can get them at, in that fucking office, fucking Saturday through Tuesday from 10 to 6. So I can't have any of you people who live in that building coming. And the good news is they're not like, rabid listeners. Like, they're like, oh my God, I heard your show and it's so funny. I'm way behind. And I'm like, well, how behind? Well, 3 years. All right, well, good. You'll catch up eventually. Hopefully by the time they catch up, I will be out of that fucking building and it won't fucking matter. But Jesus Christ, I can't stress enough. If you live there and you know where I work and you've come down and talked, because there are people who've come on to talk to me about my show. All right. This does not leave your iPod vagina. It just stays in your head. It goes right through your tweakedaudio.com/40 earbuds right into your brain, and it stays there. Unless you want to come down to the office and talk to me about it. That's fine. You can talk to me all day, but don't fucking tell the other people that I talk about. All right. Because when I told other stories, like when I hit that woman in the chest with the fucking newspaper and all that shit, like nobody listened. I didn't give a fuck. I could say whatever the fuck I wanted. But now there are actual people there who listen to the show and have talked to me about it. So you guys, I'm counting on you to throttle down and not fucking mention this to anybody. Because otherwise I will not be down in there. And look, granted, I hate it and I would love nothing more than to walk out of there and show that building my fucking ass. But right now I need the money. I wish I didn't. Someone asked me, that was like, I was bitching about this very thing, about the shift and about how I'm an authority figure. And they're like, well, then why do you work the shift? I said, unfortunately, this is where the money is right now. There's nothing I can do about it. You know what I mean? I wish I didn't have to, but I do. Sadly, because my chosen profession has decided that I am persona non grata. So I do the only other thing that a big fucking unqualified lump can do. I sit at a desk and stare. So, anyway, so the fire alarm went off. It's like 5:45 in the morning on a Sunday, and I call 911, and then people start to dribble down into the lobby, and they're asking me what's going on. Because, again, I'm the authority figure. I'm like, I don't know. I've called the police. Everybody's coming, fire department. And then they come in, and they start looking around. And there's a woman who runs the building. She's kind of like a de facto building manager. She's not the owner, but she's there during the day, and she takes care of stuff. And she's a very nice woman. However, she might be 60. That's my guess. And so she's kind of scared of everything that there is that you could possibly encounter, which is weird. I mean, you've lived a life or whatnot, but she comes downstairs and she's all freaked out about the fire alarm, and she's like, "You got to call the owner." And I said, "No, you know what? He left." And she's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "He left. He went to Palm Springs this morning. He left like a half an hour ago." She goes, "Well, if he's only a half hour away, you got to call him. He's got to come back here." I'm like, why does he have to come back here? I'm telling you, there's no fire, there's no smoke, nothing's going to happen. I go, relax, it's okay. And then the fire department comes, and then she's telling them, she's like, well, should we call the owner? No, I just told you it's okay. We don't need to call the owner. And now I'm acting like an authority figure, even though I don't want to be a fucking authority figure. So I'm trying to talk her down. I'm trying to help the fucking fire department. I'm trying to help the people who live in the building just relax. And they walked around, and I will tell you this, fire department, on TV and in movies, it's like the most exciting thing in the fucking world. They ride out and they get the ladders up and they fucking get to use an axe. This was just 5 dudes schlumping around in their equipment looking for a broken fire alarm. That's all they were doing. And it's like 5:45 on a Sunday morning. You could just tell they were miserable because they were, in the back, they were cooking eggs or something, and then they all had to throw on their stupid little coats and their costumes and come out to fucking this building. So they were very nice and they were very pleasant, but they were just like, all right, we're going to walk on every floor and look for a fire alarm. And just like, they were miserable. To the point where I'm sure they were just wishing that there was a fire. Like, they must spend most of their time praying for fires, because otherwise they're just grabbing somebody's cat out of a fucking tree or coming and looking at me at 5:45 in the morning going, look, I don't fucking know. I don't even want to be here. Hope is dead. Might as well call the fucking caretaker rather than a goddamn fire department. So I'm there, and they bail. After an hour, they find nothing. Okay, so they look around. There's nothing. We disconnect the fire alarm, and they go, you know what? It must be the connection is bad. But then there's all this paperwork that you have to fill out, because you have to tell them, yes, the connection is bad, and I will have it fixed, and it will be in the next day, and then I'll call the fire department to make sure that they know, because it's connected right to their station, whatever the fuck. So they're reading it out loud, and they ask the office lady if she'll sign it. She's like, I will not sign it. I don't want the responsibility of. I'm not taking, the owner should be here. We've called him twice, because she did. She actually paged him and called him. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I just told you we're okay. But she's like, I won't sign that. I don't want to take any personal responsibility for the building. I don't own it. And look, I get that. All right. You don't own the building. You don't want to sign shit. I don't give a shit. Give me the fucking stuff. I will sign it so I can go home. I don't care. I'll sign it in blood. Will you come and cut a finger? Fine. So I just signed everything. Boom, boom, boom. Signed it. And they split. So then she sits down to talk to me, and she, had some grievances about some stuff. Not about me, but about other things general in the building. And I said, oh, well, yeah. I said, I understand. I go, but, the owner left this morning. He left for Palm Springs. And she goes, I know, but he really should have been here. And we called him, and, I called him, and he wasn't happy that I called him. And I'm like, well, because he's on his way to Palm Springs. It's fine. He's going down there, and he's got family, and we're taking care of it. The building's not burning down. Everything's fine. I'm trying to talk her off a ledge. And then finally she says, well, I have to tell you that I am excited about the fact that and I don't want to say the owner's name. Let's just call him Lily. No, that seems confusing for everybody. Joe. I don't know. I've called him so many different things in so many episodes. I think I've actually used his real name, for fuck's sake. I'm not smart. She says that he has assured her that I'm going to be taking a more active role in the building. That I will be, I'll be there more often, and I'll be, checking things out and helping fix things and things like that. I never had that discussion with him at all. And I have terrible, terrible news for him. That's never happening in a million years. In a million years. Because not only because I don't want to do it, but also because I don't fucking know how to do it. I don't know how to fix a leak. I don't know how to fucking use a wrench unless it's to bash in somebody's skull and escape. Honestly, I don't know fucking thing about tools. I don't know how to fix or any. I sit at the desk. That's what I do. I sit there and I watch my life drift away hour by fucking hour. Actually, minute by minute, because the fucking clock ticks every fucking minute. It goes ka-chung. Every time I hear that ka-chung, I know that's one more minute that I won't be alive. because I wasted it in that fucking building because there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. And you're like, oh yeah, there's things you can do. Of course there are some things that I can do, but I can't. I've tried. I'm applying. I'm looking. I was in the mix. Literally, what was it, a month ago that I was in the mix on like 4 different writing things? All of them gone. All of them went away. They either didn't get picked up, or they just disappeared, or the pitch ended, or they tabled it. Who the fuck knows? But that's how it is. You're always close, and then you're fucking far away. Literally in an hour, things fucking change to where hope is dead. So I sit there and I'm like, and I'm staring, and I must have went slack-jawed as she told me that I'm now going to be the de facto maintenance man, because there's like no fucking way. I can't paint an apartment. I barely know how to put the key in the lock. But it dawned on me, like, in my head, I'm like, am I becoming this? Is this what I am? Is this what I'm destined to be for the rest of my fucking life? Is this guy, this fucking security guard idiot? Like, look, one day a week I get to play dress up, and I come here and I get to do this for you people. But then the other 6 nights, I'm fucking there and that and doing that. Is that? So I looked at her and I'm like, what? And she goes, yeah, he says that you're going to be over here, a lot more often, in the daytime and maybe, taking care of stuff and fixing things. And I'm just like, oh. Well, that's okay. I never talked to him about that, but I'll have to talk to him more in depth about what that plan is. Like, I'm trying not to scare her, but I just want to fucking go home, and I didn't realize that I was going to be fixing sinks. So I just went, all right, that's fine. And she left, and I was supposed to go home. I was late already to go home, but I sat at the desk, like I in the dark. This is not even a joke. I turned the lights off in the office, and I packed up to leave, and I was going to walk out. But I made myself sit down because I was overwhelmed by the magnitude of what she had said, that somehow they see me as a viable option for, I don't know, running the place. Like, it just seemed like this weird, just because I sit there at night doesn't mean that I'm anybody you should put any trust in whatsoever. And I don't say that as like a reluctant dad who's like, I don't know if I'll ever be a dad. And then the first time he holds his baby, he's like, I know my purpose in life. Fuck that. The first time I hold a wrench, I'm going to run. I'll run. If you call me and tell me to fix a hole somewhere, bullshit. I make holes. I don't fix holes. I punch holes in walls. I don't fucking plaster the shit on anything. Ask my wife. I fucking plummeted through a wall at her house and we had to have her brother fix it. That's how much of a pussy I am. I break shit. I don't fix it. So I sat in the dark just obsessing over the fact that all of a sudden now I was morphing into that. Like, is it just by osmosis? Like, I'd been there long enough so they decided that I was now going to be the de facto maintenance guy? Jesus, fuck. I was horrified. So I grabbed my stuff and I bailed. And I talked to Karen about it. I'm like, they think that I'm going to do this. And I should tell you this too. She asked for my phone number because she was all wigged out because he was in Palm Springs, and she's like, well, with this fire alarm, I don't know what to do. And in case it goes off again, I don't know who to call. And she goes, can I have your phone number? And I go, yeah, I live close. And I didn't even think about it. I wrote my phone numbers down, and I gave her my cell number. I gave her my cell phone. Nobody has my cell phone number. Well, some of you do. Of course, that happened on accident. But I don't give it to authority people. I don't give it to work. I don't give it to bill collectors. I don't give it to fucking anybody. I don't want anybody to have my cell phone ever because I don't want them to ever get, I want plausible deniability that they couldn't fucking get a hold of me. But I wrote them down. And then I was like, well, I should white out my cell phone number. How do you white it out? You can't do that. Then it looks even worse. So I gave her both my numbers, and I'm like, God damn it. So I went home and talked to Karen about it, and she's like, relax, of course, which is her answer for everything when I have some fucking horrible thing to talk about. Because look, folks, I don't know if you know this about me. I make a lot out of a little. I turn things, upside down, and I will immediately run with the worst case scenario. So she told me that, and I just pictured me in coveralls under a sink. Oh, Jesus Christ. Or like elbow deep in somebody's toilet. Oh my God. Murder me. Where's robot me when I need him? So I dealt with that. So I've been going to work, and the owner, nice man. I've talked about him on here. But the thing is, he's only 12 years older than me, but he might as well be 100 years older than me. Because he's come downstairs to talk to me before, and he'll say stuff like, he'll talk about comedy, and he's telling me about comedy, and and he'll start talking about comedy. And go, well, you know how it is, Mike. We're both funny people, and I'm sitting there, and I should tell you, all right, look, he's a nice man. He's a nice man, and he's done right by me, because quite frankly, They don't need a security guard in this fucking building at all. I mean, this is just literally free money and money that they're handing out. He pays me for peace of mind. That's it. There's no reason for anybody to be in that office overnight. But I don't want to let him know that, because then he'll just go, oh, really? And fucking whack me. So maybe I should start fixing a sink. Anyway, he comes downstairs to talk to me, but he doesn't. And I told you, I've gone to the Dodger games with him and stuff, and he's a nice, nice man. But he doesn't talk to you. He talks at you. Like, he doesn't care about what you have to say or your opinion, or he doesn't care about what you're bringing to the table. And look, I cannot stress enough, if you live in this building and you listen to this show, do not bring this up, okay? Okay, good. But he'll talk at you, and he talks about things that interest him, because he just genuinely thinks that everybody in the world is interested in the stock market. He came down to work. This is God's truth. I'm there in the office, and he's been coming down to talk to me quite often. He's waking up at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and then coming downstairs to visit me for like a half hour. And in that half hour, I don't talk. He comes down and he talks. He talks about golf. He talks about tennis. He talks about the stock market. He talks about Don Imus. He talks about comedy. And he just rampages. And he goes on, and I nod a lot. And again, I like him. He's a nice man. But that I don't care if it's Einstein. That's troubling. It gets to be a bit much when you're listening to a guy talk, because especially me. All right, I want to talk. Like, I mean, I have things that I could say to be funny, or I could add something of value to the conversation, or I may have an opinion about what you're talking about. But you know what? Check that though. He's talking about tennis and golf and the stock market. I don't have a fucking clue. You might as well, again, literally, those are the here's a wrench, fix something topics of conversation for me. I don't know a fucking thing about it. But that's what he wants to talk about. So he'll come down at 1 in the morning, and he'll sit with me for half an hour, and then he'll go upstairs. And then he'll come back down at like 2:20, and he'll stay for 40 minutes and talk to me. And I'm sitting at the desk, because again, look, it's just me and the desk and silence and my computer. And I don't have internet access, but I'm reading, I'm trying to do whatever I can do to get past the time. And but then when he comes down, I want to run. And then it's not even an exaggeration. I want to leave. Like, I want to look at him and just go, I can't take this anymore. Because, look, again, he's a nice man. But he comes down and with all these topics that he wants to talk about, and I'm just sitting there watching hope fly out the fucking window as he's talking, and he comes down and then he made this comment to me. He's like, you know what, you're lucky. He goes, I used to love staying up all night. He goes, but I don't do it so much anymore. He goes, but you're real lucky. You got this schedule. He goes, but you know what? Now my schedule, you know what? I actually I'm doing a lot of that now, where I'm staying up all night. So, I'll be able to come down and talk to you. And I'm like, oh my God, no, don't tell me that I'm lucky and now you're going to be joining me. That we're not a team. We're not a fucking team. So, and look, we all have bosses, all right? And we have to deal with them at the office and stuff like that, and we hate it, and it's miserable. But it's weirder with him, because he's a nice man who's done really nice things for me, like Christmas bonuses and out of the blue, Dodger tickets. Like, he'll just go, hey, I can't use these, take these. And he'll give me tickets to a game. And it's like, again, I really like him, but holy shit, sitting there, he comes down to talk, and I want to run. Like, and in my head, I just go, I could end this in 5 words. Like, I would quit the job and everything with just 5 words. Just if you just looked at him and just went, leave me the fuck alone. If I did that, it would ruin everything, of course. And I don't genuinely feel that he should leave me the fuck alone, but I think that he should stop to breathe so we could talk. He came down the other day, and there was a box for him, a package. I told him so. He opened it up, and he had bought 3 books, 3 of the same book. And it was a topic that he was very interested in. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to read one of these for myself, and then I give a couple out to other people, and he goes, you know what? You should take a look at this. And I said, you know what? I would never get to it. And he goes, no, you know what? Just take it and skim it, go through it, and then and we can talk about it. I'll come down Tuesday, and we'll talk about it. I go, you know what? I got to be honest. I have books at my house, and I have some writing that I have to do. So I would never pick it up. I would never even get to look at it. Just go ahead and keep it. Maybe later, but I can't. And he goes, you know what? Take it. Go ahead and skim it. You don't have to read the whole thing. Read a couple of chapters. We can talk about that. and I'll read them too. And then when you catch up, we'll talk about more. And I'm just looking at him, and I'm in my head. I'm going, there's probably about 300 pages in this book. And it's a hardcover, so I could murder him with it if I wanted to. If I stood up and I took this hardcover book, I could beat him to death with it. And look, honestly, at that point, I'm so mad, I could beat him to death with a fucking paperback. Do not give me fucking homework. Are you shitting me? It's bad enough that I'm sitting here and we have to have this exchange. And again, nice man. All right? He's a good guy. But it's like after an hour, you're going, gee, I don't want to talk to anybody for a fucking hour, except for, you guys in a podcast. I get that. Ha ha, funny. We're all having fun. But all right, so and maybe you know what? I get it. Maybe I'm your him. Is that it? Is that what you're trying to tell me, folks? Well, then turn me off. You don't have to do that. Unplug the fucking iPod. Why did I get that message from you folks? All right, so, but he gave me the book. He made me take the book. And I just put it in my bag. I haven't taken it out of my bag yet. I'm waiting for him to tell me about it. He wants a book report. I don't fucking know. But because look, if you know anything about me, you know that the worst punishment you could ever inflict on me is not being able to tell somebody to fuck off. To have to sit there and be sucked into their web and not be able to do anything about it and not be me. Look, he won't let me be me. I can't even talk. He came downstairs and he had a book. He's like, oh yeah, I tell you what, you do your shows. And he does this thing where he'll tell me a joke, and it'll be some racist joke or some joke that I've heard before or whatever. And he'll tell it to me, and then he'll laugh uproariously. And then I always have to do that thing where you just go, oh, nice. Like, because I can't even pretend to laugh. And then he'll say, you can use that one. Well, that one might be a little rough, but you can use it. Go ahead and use it. Just make sure you credit me. And he means it. He's not like he's not like being jokey, haha. He's like, yeah, you can take that, you can use that, and like he created it. And I'm gonna go, why would you even want to take credit for writing that racist joke? But that's fine. And look, I cannot stress enough, folks. If you live in this building and you listen to this show, erase this immediately. I can't even have the chance that he walks by your apartment and hears it. Although I guess that would solve the problem. I'd get whacked immediately. And again, nice man. But he's come down and he's told me over and over that he thinks Bob Hope is the greatest comedian who ever lived. That's what we're dealing with. And I think we all know, if you know anything about me, and you've heard it on this show, folks, Hope is dead. Literally and figuratively, as far as I'm concerned. But he tells me about Bob Hope, and he tells me about, he brought down a book. He's like, look what I found. And he hands it to me, and it's a book on how to perform stand-up comedy. By David Brenner.
Oh my God.
From like 1976. You know what? I checked that. Not David Brenner, Richard Belzer.
Oh.
It wasn't Brenner. It was Belzer.
Worse.
And look, and it's from 1976 when Belzer was really funny. Okay. And he's like, you ought to take this and study up on it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm okay. I said, I appreciate it. And he goes, no. And then he had another book with him. He brought down 2 books for me. Another one it was a book on the great comedy duos and teams of all time. And it was like 300 pages. I knew there were the Three Stooges, the Marx Brothers, Laurel and Hardy, and that was it. But this has got like all those vaudeville ones, like, Pie Face and Johnson, and like all this bullshit that nobody likes except Lily, who wants that book. And he's like, here, take that and study up. And it was Leonard Maltin wrote this, and it's written it might be in Courier font 6-point. I mean, it's like that tiny. You have to read it with a magnifying glass because it's a tiny book, but it's thick, and it's like 350 pages of comedy teams. And I'm looking, and he hands it me, and he's like, yeah, it's always good to study up on your craft. And this isn't my craft. It's not my craft. He's like, well, yeah, Belzer, he's the funniest guy. Oh my God, he's so good. And he's got that comedy. He's great. And he hands it to me. He's like, you check that out. And maybe there's some pointers in there. I've been doing this 20 years. I'm not good at it. Mind you, I get the fact that I'm not good at it, but I found enough people who I can fool that I'm okay at this point. I don't think Belzer's book from 76 is going to teach me anything that changes my career. But it doesn't matter. He will not take no for an answer. He hands them to me. And I'm supposed to read them. So So he's been making his way downstairs, and he's been talking to me more often in the middle of the night and for longer amounts of time, like 45 minutes. He'll hang out, and it drives me fucking crazy. So he looked at me last week, and he sat down and he starts talking about comedy. And he's talking about, the thing is that's, it's all about comedy and being funny, and it's the element of surprise. He starts telling me all about how to do comedy and how jokes work. And then he says, that's the thing. He goes, we're both funny guys. I mean, that's just the way it worked. He goes, but I never cared about the spotlight. Like I never, I could see the door, but I never wanted to walk through it. It didn't interest me. I just rather be funny on my own and be in the background. Johnny Carson always said it's always the quiet ones. Well, I'm one of the quiet ones, and I don't want to be a guy who goes ahead and gets the spotlight. He goes, I like to be more of a Jackie Martling. He goes, I'll write jokes and I'll hand them to you, and then he goes, and you'll get all the thing. He goes, you know what? That's what we could do. And I went, what? And he goes, that's what we can do. He goes, when I come down here, we should write comedy. We should write jokes. And I'm like, what? And he goes, because I can Jackie Martling. He goes, I'll write jokes and I'll just hand them to you. He goes, because you can say them on stage. He goes, but I'm not a stage guy. You're the stage guy. But I'll just write them to you and I'll keep handing them to you. And I'll just give you jokes over and over. We'll create them together. And you just got to credit me on stage. But yeah, I'll write a whole bunch of stuff for you and it'll work out great. And meant it. He meant it. He wasn't like, haha, this would be fun, or this is a lark, or this is a goof. He meant that he was going to write jokes for me and hand them to me, because that was the whole thing. He's like, we can write comedy together. You know what that means? He writes a bunch of it, and I have to take and go, that's funny, that's funny, that's funny, that's funny, because he doesn't give a fuck about me or what I have to say or what I'm going to do. And look, this isn't funny. I get it. It's just me bitching, but holy shit, it's the death of hope. It's just me being fucking trapped in that office, and he keeps coming downstairs, and I'm resenting him. I'm starting to resent him. I'm starting to get angry. I'm starting to think, man, I got to get the fuck out of here. But then when it became where he was going to actually write jokes for me, I just felt my soul leave my body at that point, because I was like, God damn it, do I need to say something here? Do I really have to put a stop to this? So he leaves, he goes upstairs, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Every time I hear the elevator, it's like the Jaws theme. Every single fucking time. And I'm every time I see it go where, so I'm sitting there, and he comes downstairs again. This is just this past 2 weeks. He's been coming down in the middle of the night to talk. And he comes down and he's like, he talks to me for 20 minutes and then he leaves. And then the phone rings. And I answer the phone and it's him. It's him calling me. He was just downstairs. He calls me and now he wants to talk about what he's watching on television. And we're talking, and we talked for 20 minutes on the phone. I'm not a sophomore in high school. So, and again, look, I recognize there's not a lot of humor here. It's just me venting frustration to you fucking people. But Jesus Christ, you know what? It's because you are the only touchstone I have with the fact that I am not destined to be there forever. You are the only validation that I actually have somewhat of a career outside of sitting there and being talked to about fucking the stock market. Again, he came down and gave me a stock tip the other day. This made me laugh. He came down with a stock tip. Hey, I got a tip for you. And he gave me this long ass stock tip. And in my head, I'm like, I work for you as a security guard in an overnight capacity. How many stocks do you think that I fucking own? If I was in a position to be buying stocks or using stock tips, I wouldn't be fucking working here at 4 a.m, trapped by you coming down to tell me about Bob Hope. And I'm not looking for validation from you guys to write me and go, oh my gosh, you're okay. You're much funnier than that. I know I am. But still, I guess, you know what? The rest of the week I have to get talked to. So now I talk. Maybe that's why I'm doing these longer shows. Maybe that fucking explains it. Because I don't get to say a fucking word from Sunday or Saturday through fucking Tuesday. So then when I get here Wednesday, I got shit to say, for fuck's sake. Because I haven't been able to talk. I haven't had to sit there and been fucking just jawed at and jawed at and jawed at. And again, nice man. He's an intelligent guy, nice guy. It's just, I just have nothing. There's just, oh my God. Do you hear this? I can't even finish a fucking sentence. I can't. So last week he comes down to talk to me and he says, hey, I got a favor to ask you. And I'm like, okay. And he says, you know what? Can I get a ride to the hospital? because he has a medical procedure that he has to undergo. And in my head, I'm just like, you can't say no. I mean, you can't say no. And I do genuinely want to help him and take him to the hospital. I don't mind. But it's like in my head, I'm going, that's going to be the worst ride of my life. Like, I mean, I may need to go to the emergency room afterwards as well for bleeding ears, or just because I wrapped my car around a telephone pole during the ride. I don't fucking know. But I told him, sure, I'll take it. And he's like, oh, yeah, I got to go and do this procedure. And because he's a guy who's had a lot of medical problems over the past couple of years. So, he's kind of on the other side of it now, where he's coming out and he's going, all the stuff he's going to do now is all to make sure things are still working properly. So he's like, can you take me? I said, yeah. And then I left that night and I went home and I looked at Karen and I said, I don't know what to do. And she was very nice, and she played the role of me as I talked at her for fucking 20 minutes about what the fuck I was doing. I said, and now it's creeping into real life. Like, he wants me to take him to the hospital and then pick him up. Because that's the thing. He said he had to go for this procedure. He goes, yeah, you just take me out there, and the procedure takes about 3 hours, and then you can just hang out there, and then when I'm done, you can take me home. And this is after my work, after my job. And I'm like, well, no, I'll drop you off, and then I'll come home, and then I'll come pick you up when you need me. He's like, well, but I don't know exactly the time. And, you can kill some time around there, like maybe go get some breakfast, but it's just, I don't know how they're going to work it, but you shouldn't get too far away from the hospital. And I should tell you, there's a hospital, right by my house that Karen used to go to all the time. Nope. He went to the one that's fucking, 35 minutes away. I can't tell the guy what fucking hospital to go to. So, which is fine. So I go, all right, yeah, I'll take you. And I go, but I'm going to drop you off, and then I'll come back and get you. Because I'm not going to sit I've been in hospital waiting rooms for people I wanted to wait for. Fucking horrible. So, sure enough, the night before he wants me to take him, I get a phone call downstairs, and it's him. And he tells me, hey, you don't have to take me to the hospital. And I said, oh, okay. And he goes, but do me a favor. He goes, I'll drive there, and then you come pick me up. And then you can take me the next day to pick up my car. And I said, okay. I mean, I guess so. And he goes, yeah. And he goes, it'll work out great. He goes, because then we can stop and have breakfast. And we can hang out. I'll buy you breakfast and we'll talk. And in my head, I was like, oh my God, no. This is buying more time with him? Like, part of me just wants to go, look, I will give you $1,000. I'll pay some immigrants at Home Depot to carry you to the hospital. I don't fucking care. But I'm like, I can't say no, because again, he's a nice man who's done good things for me, but Jesus. So I just, in my head, I go, all right, well, I grab Hope around the throat and I strangle the last remnants of life out of it. And I go, yeah, it's fine. I'll take you. So he goes and I see him. He wakes up in the morning. He's like, all right, I'm going to go now, and then I'll call you and you can come pick me up. I say, great. He calls me 2.5 hours later. The hospital actually called me because he was, out or whatever the fuck, and I got to go pick him up. So I had to park. I go into his place, and when you walk, the hospital, fuck, it's just, everybody's sick. It's so depressing. So I walk into his ward where he is, and there's all these people in beds, and they're moaning, and they're just laying there, and I hear his voice booming out of the place, and he's got 2 people that he's sitting with that he's entertaining. He's talking to them, and they're laughing, and everybody. And the thing is, he's like the life of this ward. Like, everybody else is so sick and dead, and he's so happy and strong because he's come out on the other side of this, and he's actually giving them hope. It's funny. He's taken all of the hope that he's stolen from me, and he's passing it out to the people in this hospital ward because they see that you can recover. They see that you can become the person you used to be, or maybe even a better version of what you used to be, just by following the doctor's orders. And he's standing up and he's basically telling them that. Like, he's this weird, almost an evangelical presence where he's, with me, he's talking about the stock market and tennis and bullshit. But with them, he's talking about living well and drinking water and staying this. And they're buying it. They're all into it. And part of me is like, well, this is your fucking element. Why don't you just stay here, for fuck's sake? But it was amazingly transformative to watch him. And it made me sad because I went, you know what, dude? You're a dick. You're a dick. All he wants is to talk to you. He just wants to talk to people. But I'm not being that unreasonable because he talks at me and he doesn't let me talk ever. And I'm not sick. I'm not moaning. I should be. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe I need to be sick to understand just how much of a fucking transformative presence this guy is. But as a normal human being, oh my fucking God, let me plug my ears. But still, watching him change a hospital ward into a bunch of people who actually had hope, it was amazing. So I pick him up. We leave. We get in the car, and he's so proud because he did his test, and when he got out of there, he said, hey, you need this bed? And he was able to stand up on his own. He didn't give a fuck. And he let somebody else have the bed who was sick. And he was so proud that he wasn't sick anymore. And he just, and he's talking to me in the car, and it's all about how his life is back and how he's happy to be alive, and he didn't know what it was going to be like, but now he's so happy to be this. And I recognized that person. That person was me in 2006. After I had my surgery and I was lifting and I was running and I was doing things, and I realized I'd had my life back, and now he has his life back, and he wants to tell people about it. It's an experience he wants to share, and I, of course, want nothing to do with that. He wants to come down and share with me his life, and that he's feeling good about himself and in the things that he enjoys, and I shut him out. I'm selfish because I look at it from my point of view rather than from his point of view, and I felt bad. I should have been feeling good for him, but I felt bad because I was like, man, are you a dick? I might be a dick, and I am a kind of a dick, but I didn't think I was that big of a dick, and I'm not really a dick in this case, but I was being a dick, sort of a dick, whatever. So he was so happy. I brought him home, and he didn't want to go to breakfast because he had just, like I said, he had the medical procedure. So he's like, you know what? I can't go to breakfast, but we'll do it another time. I said, great. Dropped him off. Came to work that night, and then he came downstairs at 4 a.m. He's like, you want to go get my car? And I said, really? I thought you didn't want to get it till later. And he goes, no. He goes, well, do it now. Let's do it. So we drove all the way to get his car. And he was again talking about how great it was to be alive, and he was excited to get his car, and I just stared straight ahead. And I listened. I certainly listened, but I zoned out. I disappeared. You know what? I left my body. I was floating above my car, staring down at myself. It was like I was in a grave, and every sentence was another shovelful of dirt on top of me and hope. And he just talked, and he was so happy. And I guess I should have been happy for him, but instead it was just... I'm selfish. So, I was thinking of me and how I had to listen and how I had to do all this. And so we're driving, and he mentioned something. He said he really liked going to the hospital now because he loved leaving the hospital. Because he had been in the hospital before and didn't know if he was going to leave. And that kind of cracked my facade a little bit. I heard that and I was like, whoa, this guy might be kind of saying something here. So I pulled into the parking garage, and he was the only car. So I pulled up to his car, and he looked at me, and he said, he's like, all righty, I'll meet you over back at the apartment complex. And I said, great. And he said, it's my birthday today. And I said, what? He goes, yeah. He goes, 56 today. I said, oh, congratulations. He goes, yeah, I was in this building before. I didn't think I'd ever see 56. I said, well, look at you. You kicked its ass. Good for you. He said, yeah. I just want to tell you thanks. And I said, why? And he goes, my dad used to tell me that I was a good kid. I'll tell you you're a good kid, but you know what? I don't think I'm that much older than you, so I'll tell you you're a good man. But, you helped me a lot, and I just want you to know that I appreciate it. And I said, well, that's okay. And he said, all right. And he took my hand and just said, thanks. And he got out of the car. And yes, I cried, of course, because I don't have a dad. Like I don't have anybody who talked to me like that. And also, I was so mad at myself. Oh, my God, was I mad at myself at that moment because I had rejected this guy fully at all turns. And I had tuned him out and let him talk and essentially escaped into my head and let him do whatever he was going to say, and all of his words just bounced off of me. And that's exactly what I had done with my dad. And I think we all know how that turned out. So I had to drive home alone then, sobbing in my car. And I get back to the building, and he pulls in, and he comes in again. And he's like, well, and then, of course, now he wants to talk about what he heard on the radio and Howard Stern. And I'm like, whatever. But I listened. And I listened to everything that he said. And I should tell you, this happened a couple weeks ago, this hospital thing. And he has been coming down to visit me every night. And it's torture. I won't lie to you. I mean, I wish that I could say I had some weird epiphany where now everything he says is gold and I want to hear it, but I don't. Unfortunately, I'm not a good enough person to recognize the good in him. And I'm still selfish at times, but I will say that I have opened up a lot more and entertained the idea that maybe I should listen to the things that he has to say because he doesn't have anybody else to say them to. And, I've talked about the death of hope, and I've seen hope disappear from my body. And talking to him these past few weeks, as tough as it's been, I've made myself get through it. Because I realize, maybe it isn't so much about you losing hope as it is about you giving hope to somebody else. You guys can get me at mike@mikeshmittcomedy.com. You can be my friend at facebook.com/the40year-old-boy. You can follow me at twitter.com/the40year-old-boy. You can follow our friend Lily Von Stupp at Twitter on 2 accounts. Twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp and Twitter.com/MNTs. You can be her friend at Facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp. You can be the resident artist and genius in charge of everything on the show, David Hernandez. You can be his friend at Facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez. And if you'd like to write Lily a personal note and ask her just how many fudgicles she still has left in her freezer and whether or not that's a euphemism, you can write her at Lily@burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Drink your coffee, don't hold some pencils, let's soak your frosty, hold more pencils, Thor Garvin Yeeper on these mugs, there's Flame Bush Mini on these mugs, go buy these wicked awesome mugs, at MikeSchmidtComedy.com, mugs, 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 mugs,
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 clubs. That's where it is, on Santa Monica and Vine. I almost said on the Santa Monica and Vine, which would be bad. On the Santa Monica... What the fuck? What happened to my mouth there? That was weird. God damn it, folks. How are you? Want to remind you folks about the 3 clubs on Santa... I'm sorry, Lily's wearing a dress and she keeps hiking it up. It's hard to concentrate. Want to remind you folks about the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine. The Monday Night Teas is there every Monday night. It's fascinating. It's an amazing show. One that you should attend. If you're in town, you should fly to. If you're out of town, I would come. I happen to know the producer of that show. She's a wonderful person. Her name is Lily Von Stupp. Hey, Lily.
Hi, Michael.
How are you?
I'm good.
That's fantastic news. How was the tease this week?
Fantastic.
Was there like a theme, or was it just a bunch of fun people taking their clothes off? What happened?
It was a bunch of fun people taking their clothes off.
Sounds like every day.
Doc and Stumpy's Doc Fest.
Ah.
Yeah. So it was Baggy Pants Comedy and a lot of fucking people. Here's what happened on Monday, though, and I will tell you this because I know you're a fan.
Should I go?
Bueller's Day Off.
Do we Toxic Twins this? Do we get close?
No. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Do you remember the singing telegram nurse?
I do. She's the nurse who likes to slam.
Yes. That's Miss Stephanie Blake, 2-time Miss Exotic World title holder.
No way.
Yes. She has crafted an entire act out of that where she comes out, sings that opening part, and right when she gets to the punchline, the music starts and the naughty nurse takes over. It's beautiful. It was so much fun. It tore the house down.
Of course.
And people were like, oh my God, I remember that from Ferris Bueller. It was great.
Well, all right, but here's my question, and this will sound insensitive, and I don't mean it to be.
Go ahead and ask the question.
Ferris Bueller came out in 1985.
Yes.
So we're looking at 27 years ago. So Miss Stephanie Blake, does she... Do you have to hold her walker during
She's
this
only
set?
a few years older than me.
Really?
Yeah.
So how old was she in that movie? 9?
22?
That's close.
Yeah.
9 and 22, very close.
22. Yeah.
All right. Well, good. So and it destroyed the place, eh?
Destroyed it.
Can we find Miss Stephanie Blake online?
She has a Facebook page and she's on IMDb and Wikipedia.
I will try to find her so I can see her naked online.
Yeah. I don't think she's fully naked, but I actually have. She popped a pasty one time at my show, so I do have some nipple shots of her. She's beautiful.
Can't wait to see those.
But she wore the most, under this nurse's outfit, she had this all rhinestone encrusted bra with these beautiful rhinestone pasties. I mean, she is a showgirl. There's no doubt about it, and beautiful.
Nice.
So it was an amazing show. You would have really enjoyed that.
Is she from California? Is she coming from out of town?
She's based here in LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Amazing performance.
Sorry I did not make it. And this coming week is a show, as always. And who's on this week's show?
Detroit Rocks. We're celebrating Estella Detroit's birthday with a rock and roll show. We've got Coco Electric, who is the Miss Burlesque title holder from the New Orleans Burlesque Festival.
All right.
We have Charlotte Truce out of Portland. We have Tito Benito out of
Is that a dude?
Illinois. He's
Out of dude?
Yeah, he's a boylesker.
All righty.
And we have a magician with us, Hannibal, out of North Carolina. So there's 4 people in from out of town.
This is what your show should be. I'm serious, because she keeps busting my balls about hosting the Tarantino thing, and which is nice. But this is what your show should be: people from out of town, and like strippers from out of town, and magicians, and all that. Nobody wants a guy talking. Nobody at all. Are you hosting this week?
No,
Who's hosting?
a guy talking.
What the hell? Why do you lie? Stop making up lies.
Randy Stallion is hosting.
Of course he is. Well, that's Randy Stallion. Regardless, it's more. His name is more interesting than anything I could talk about at all on stage.
Michael, do you remember what Quentin Tarantino said to you?
I don't care. It doesn't. I don't
He
recall.
thought you were funny.
Good for
He
him.
loved you
Yes.
hosting the show.
He's a wonderful
He's
man.
right. The
Sure.
audience is
Yes.
right. The
All
cast
right.
is right. You're hosting the Tarantino show
Yes.
on August 20th. If I have to pick you up and drag you down there,
Well, I mean, if that's on the table, August.
I'm sending 3 strippers and a clown car for you.
Is that on sale already?
Yes.
August 20th is on sale.
Yes.
All right. Hey, the Tarantino Burlesque show is on sale, and I guess I'm hosting
Your
it.
name is on there.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. So
You
what?
will be there.
All right. I will be there. I will. Look, I'll be there one way or the other. If you wanted to say hi, that's
You're
fine.
hosting.
That show, the Tarantino show, it's amazing. Just come see the show. It's amazing. And that's August 20th at the Monday Night Tease. That's going to be fantastic. And last week's show, great. Next week's show, great. All the shows, Detroit Rock City, you got to lose your mind next week at the Monday Night Tease.
Detroit Rocks is going to be awesome.
That's exciting. All right, well, good. And are you stripping this week? Or are you hosting? Or you're just hanging?
No, I'm stripping in 2 other shows, not my own this month.
Want to plug them?
Well, the book that I was featured in, It's All That Glitters.
Okay, the All That Glitters book, which we actually plugged on Kickstarter and wound up getting funded.
Yeah, that book release party, again, Charlotte Truce and Coco Electric are both performing at that next Thursday. This Saturday, I'm hosting and stripping at the M Bar in Good Old Burlesque, which is Bobby Burlesque's show.
So that's this Saturday. You're at the M Bar.
At the M Bar.
And tickets are on sale online?
Tickets are on sale. Go to BobbyBurlesquePresents.com.
Go to Bobby Burlesque, and is it Bobby IE?
BOBBI.
Yeah, it's Bobby with an IE, BobbyBurlesquePresents.com, and tickets are available to see Lily this week at the M Bar in Bobby Burlesque's show, and then next Thursday at the All That Glitters book release party show, which was funded by Kickstarter, and a lot of you contributed, and thank you so much for that. We appreciate it. And so that's next Thursday, and Lily will be doing a routine. Do you know which acts you're doing at either one, or do you want to surprise people?
No, I'm doing my Avenue Q, Lucy the Slut number.
All right.
At Bobby's show, and then I'm doing the I'm Tired number.
Nice.
All the glitters.
Perfect. Oh, because it goes perfectly with the book.
Yeah, that's the costume I was wearing.
Go see Lily all over the place. Can they get this information on your Facebook page as well?
Can.
Facebook.com/LilyVonStupp. Go be your friend and read all this information. And don't forget to MondayNightTees.com for all of the information regarding the Monday Night Tees and upcoming shows. Tickets available for August 20th for Tarantino. Tickets available for next week for Detroit Rocks. Get them all now. Go to my Facebook page at facebook.com/the40year-old-boy. There's all sorts of pages that want me to come to their town and visit them. Bring Mike Schmidt to Detroit, to St. Louis, to San Antonio. We got a big boost in San Antonio last week. And by that, I mean like 5 people joined, which was, that's actually a big deal compared to how many had been on. I want to come back to Texas. I would love to, folks. So let's make that happen. Detroit, St. Louis, all of these shows I would love to make happen. Go ahead and sign up on the pages so I know that there's support to bring me there. And thank you. I want to come to those places. Remember that I do have shows coming up. In October, I will be at the Latvian Society in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on October 19th. That's a Friday night show. Come and check that out. I'd appreciate it. There's a bar there. There's going to be a meet and greet in the back room. Should be a big deal. Well, not a big deal. It's a big room, but we'll have fun and come out and check it out. Remember, going backwards from that, September 14th, I'm at the Venture Theater in Green Bay. Excited about that. And again, like I mentioned last week, a lot of people were contacting me about the Bears tickets. Please don't do that. I'm already seeing the Brewers on Wednesday, and then I'm already, if I am seeing the Packers game, they have season tickets and they think they're close. So that's fine. I just don't want it to turn into a thing where somebody gets tickets and then I can't go with them. So it's nice of you to make an effort. And as we get closer, if something falls through, I'll certainly reach out. But if you're going to do something, buy tickets to the show. That would be great. Come out to the Venture Theater in Green Bay. They're putting together a theater there. They're trying to get that off the ground, and they do comedy there every week. So go to Venture Theater it's VentureTheaterOnline.com. Honestly, I don't know. Google Venture Theater. There's one in fucking Montana. It's not it. There's one in Green Bay. It's like just below it when it comes up on Google Google, I think it's the second one. So our friend Mike runs it, and I'm excited to go and do the show there. So that's September 14th, 8 o'clock p.m., Venture Theater in Green Bay. And remember that September 8th and 9th, I will be in Portland. I'm getting to town. I'm still you know what? I'm trying to buy. All right, let me reach out to you people and ask you about this. I was looking at plane tickets. I wasn't sure if I was going to fly in Thursday, be there Friday with really, possibly a show or possibly just nothing, just hanging out or getting together, and then Saturday doing the actual dash and then flying home Sunday. Or if I'm just going to fly in Friday and then we can hang out Friday night, that sounds like a plan to me. I don't think I need to come in Thursday, whatever. I was looking at prices and things like that. Let me know if you guys think that would be something interesting. I think Rich said his band is playing somewhere on Friday, possibly, but it all depends on the flight, whatever. I'm trying to find if we want to do a dinner thing. Who knows? But I know that the run itself is on Saturday, and maybe Saturday night we can hang out, or maybe not. Who cares? You don't care. I know you don't. But I'm looking forward to it. So I will be flying to town in September. Portland, that's the week before Green Bay, September 8th and 9th. And then, folks, let's tell you about this. July 27th. That's next Friday. So you're hearing this on a Thursday. That's 8 days away, folks. Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm at the Indy Fringe Theater. Tickets are available now. I just talked to them. They were very nice. I settled all the tech stuff with them. I sent them, my posters. Because they're putting me on their website. They're sending out an email blast about me, which is nice. It's funny. They had asked me for promo when I booked the show, and I sent them promo, and they never used it. And then this week she's like, do you want me to, use any promo and put you on our email blast list? They go, yeah, you actually asked for that in May and I sent it and you never used it. She goes, well, you said you were selling your own tickets. And I said, well, yeah, and I'm not using your box office, but I can give you the link for tickets if people want to buy them through online. And she's like, oh, okay, yeah. So I guess for 2 months that could have been on their website, but it wasn't, but that's fine. Whatever. So now it is. But tickets are available at brownpapertickets.com for all of the shows that I mentioned: Indianapolis, Green Bay, and Philadelphia. Hey, Indianapolis, buy some tickets because, again, right now it's grim. I won't lie to you. So go ahead and pick up some tickets. That'd be great. I'll be there in 8 days. And usually we have that last week thing where people decide that they want to go ahead and buy tickets, but, we'll see if they do or they don't. Remember that October 12th, I think, or the 13th and 14th, I have no idea. That's the LA Podfest. I would have found out a lot more about it this week if I had made my appointment for Comedy Film Nerds. Because I was supposed to do their show tomorrow, Thursday, right? Tomorrow's Thursday, and I was going to record their show. Yeah, Tuesday. I was supposed to be there Tuesday. I found out when I woke up Tuesday night and looked at my fucking voicemail, and there was Graham. And I felt like an idiot. So I did not do their show. Hopefully soon. But the LA Podfest is in October. I believe it's the 12th, 13th, and 14th. Go check it out. All sorts of people are going to be there. The Sklar Brothers and Who Charted and Earwolf and, of course, Chris and Graham and Andy and Dave and Greg from Walking the Room. Huge show. Never Not Funny, me. Going to be great. Remember that the Comedy Film Nerds book is available. If you go to Comedy Film Nerds website, you can order it through them or go to Amazon.com and order it through them. But I will tell you, if you order it through ComedyFilmNerds.com, you will get it signed. So that's going to be great. And also, what's that face?
Ha! That face is the podcast site has a schedule up.
What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're saying.
The LAPodfest.com has a schedule up now.
There's a schedule.
I'd click over there and see. Yes,
Oh,
would you like to know when you're recording?
Oh my God, yes. Actually, yeah. So they have my showtime on there?
Yes, you are recording on Saturday at 11 a.m.
No.
Yeah.
11 a.m.?
You're not the earliest record, though.
Who the fuck's before me?
Todd Glass at 10. Apparently he's a morning person, too.
Wait, all right. No, hold on a second. Let me tell you this. First of all, Todd's show also goes like 2.5 hours. Who's after me at noon?
There isn't. Well, there is. The ballroom has Todd Glass at 10 a.m. and Risk at noon.
Okay.
Espada room has the 40-year-old boy at 11 and Dork Forest at 1.
So I'm in the Espada room with Murph and the Magic Tones.
Yes.
All right. At 11 a.m. What the fuck? Don't they know that I'm a vampire? I can't be out in the sun.
I gotta be down there and ready and put together.
Yeah. Wait a minute. You know what, dude? I gotta stay up like all night, probably, right? Don't I? I'm not gonna sleep. I gotta do a fucking show with no sleep, like fucking sleepwalking. Oh my God, dude. Whatever the fuck. Go to the show. Now you gotta go just to see what the fuck's gonna happen. I have no idea if I'm gonna sleep or not sleep. Pass out on fucking stage. All right, so the other shows are in the big ballroom.
Yeah.
So Todd, all right, so it's not like I'm gonna collide with Todd. I mean, I am. Todd will be going on while I'm going on, so people have to choose between me or Todd, which is great because then we'll have me and you and one other person in the fucking room.
Well, I think I'll just do it topless then, because I think we can compete effectively against Todd if I'm topless.
I'm excited. That's a good plan. Solid plan. All right, Lily's going to be topless. You heard it here first. And you know what? Not because she wants to be topless, but just because it's 11 a.m., she never gets dressed before noon.
Well, no, I just want to beat the shit out of Todd Clapp.
Todd's the best. It's not Todd's fault he's going to rout us.
I'm just going to walk in and go, hey, everybody, Mike's podcast is starting now.
With your tits out?
My titties.
All right.
Bring
Don't
it
say
on.
titties. That's not good. All right. Maybe we'll get Todd over. Todd comes over and he joins us. We'll do a combination show. Well, then again, it's in the Espada room, and I asked them because I said to them, "Dudes, don't put me in a giant room because I would much rather play to a small room with with enough people in it than play to a sparsely attended ballroom." As I'm out there just fucking like doing a bad real estate seminar in the Espada room. Holy shit, this is gonna be weird. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show up in the Espada room, and not only am I gonna do this show, folks, but I'm gonna give you 10 tips on how to flip houses. That's gonna be great. Go ahead and buy my packet. Holy God, that's weird. All right. So now you know, folks, the Pod Festival is the 12th, 13th, and 14th, and I think that's October 13th that I am at the Espada room at 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm bringing Apple Jacks for everybody. No shit. God, that seems weird. Well, I asked them. I believe me, that's on me. I didn't want the ballroom because it would have been a fucking nightmare. But now I got to go head to head with Todd. Oh, man. All right. So...
He's opening for you.
Sure he is. Of course, he goes at 10. I go at 11. Who's at 12?
Dork.
No, they're at 1 in the Espada room. Who's at 12 in the ballroom?
Hold on. I'm on the wrong page again.
Okay.
Risk is at noon.
Oh, the storytelling podcast.
Yes.
I owe Kevin an email, as a matter of fact, because Kevin sent me a form.
Here's another.
What's this?
There's a panel happening during your show as well.
During my show?
Yes.
In the Espada room? Because that's going to be a weird thing.
So it's in the Cabrilla?
The Cabrilla room?
Yes, a panel on growing your podcast.
Well, now, so because we know that this audience, literally, we've done surveys. My audience is literally 1/3 Todd Glass fans, 1/3 Risk Storytelling fans, and 1/3 fledgling podcasters who want to grow their show. I am fucked. I am going to have nobody come and see me.
I'll be there.
Yeah, well, all right, you're good. I'm glad. I'll see you. But the rest of my demographic is falling apart right before our very eyes. God damn, the Espada room. Espada. Well, all right, if you're going to come. It's 11 o'clock a.m., and I have a plan for that show. I don't know if it's going to work, but hopefully it does. And even if nobody's there, I'm going to do it. What the fuck? I'll talk to an empty room. I've done it before. All right, good. And remember the Comedy Film Nerds book and go to their website and find out about when I'm on at the Espada room. What the hell else? Oh, folks, I talked about it a little earlier, but I'll mention it now. The Joe Business page on my website is up and live and looking amazing. There are links to tweakedaudio.com/40 where you can go ahead and buy cock ring watches or autoerotic asphyxiation earbuds. There are links to the Zazzle store where you can buy the Fireboy mug or you can buy the Thorgar and Yeep mug. And then there are, of course, download links where you can buy year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, or the Podcast of the Caribbean set all together, folks. That's 3 for the price of 4. And now, of course, we have the t-shirts on sale. We have Red Boy. We have Scar Panda. Those are available now. You can order those via the site. And also artwork for the show is available if you want to order a print, an autographed print, autographed by myself, our friend Lily, our friend David Hernandez, Mex. Go ahead and order artwork. And it's 8.5 by 11. We will sign it and ship it to you, and it'll be amazing. All of this stuff is the same price. I tried to keep it symmetrical. I tried to keep it all in the same family. All in the Espada family. And remember, if you want to donate to the show, you can donate up in the upper left-hand corner of every single page. There's a little Schmitty with his pocket out. Click on him, and you can donate $2 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month, or $25 a month. Or you can just send a one-time donation, which is always appreciated, and thank you so much for that. And now I've got to go ahead and get some epaulets so I can wear them to the Espada room. I got to get a sombrero and a poncho. And actually, that's also after Portland, so I'll probably still be on crutches at that point. So or I'll have to have a jazzy. I'll have to start riding a jazzy around. God damn it, I need a jazzy. Oh my God, how perfect would that be? Did I ever tell the story about how I rode the jazzy in here in Walmart? I told that story, right? God damn it, that was great. And fuck, you know what? People take those jazzies and they take them for granted. People are assholes in those jazzies. Did you see the woman from Boston who rode the jazzy onto the escalator? It's the great. See it immediately. I don't know her. Like, remember I talked earlier about your brain being clouded with fat and you don't know what the fucking how to behave. She drives toward the escalator. She drives her jazzy onto the up escalator and starts to go up, and then it just fucking flips her right over and lands on top of her. She turtles. She can't move because she's kind of half fat and half crippled, and then she's covered in jazzy. And a dude goes sprinting down to try to help her, and she's rolling. She's like rolling with the fucking stairs, and then he trips and falls on top of her, and he's trying to. And then a woman runs over and hits the fucking emergency button. But this is the worst part of the whole story. This fat idiot drives her jazzy onto the escalator and thinks it's going to take her up the goddamn stairs, and it flips over on her. She's covered in jazzy. They're trying to rescue her. They stop it. Guess what happens? They are able to help her up and walk. And she walks down the stairs on her own power. If you can walk down the fucking stairs, why are you riding your jazzy like a dune buggy up the goddamn up escalator? I wouldn't expect Johnny Knoxville to pull off this fucking thing. And yet this chick she doesn't even hesitate. It's like in her mind, she's like, yeah, I mean, this is the way it works. I can drive something with wheels onto an up escalator and not get flipped over like goddamn Tommy the Turtle. You're fucking joking, Yertle. Get up off your back, covered in jazzy, people trying to fucking help you. And I just picture, I'm waiting for Wee Man to come in and just look at the camera and go, I'm Wee Man and you're watching Jackass. I'm waiting for fucking Pontius to come in and dance around with his cock in a sock. I mean, it is just the most ridiculous stunt. It's the shit we used to pull when we were kids. If I had a jazzy, maybe that's why I shouldn't get a jazzy, because I'll tell you what, the first fucking thing I do with a jazzy, I ride it up an escalator. And you know what? Bullshit. I ride it down an escalator first, because I want to make sure it works. Up the escalator, a little different. I see now that it might not work. Because I have a tone. Because you know why? Because I talk quickly and I don't fucking think. That's why. I think that's what it means when you have a tone. Is you don't fucking bother to care what comes flying out of your goddamn mouth. I try to grow the show and I want people to get on board and they're like, I listen to it and you talk too fast. Really, I talk too fast. How the hell else am I supposed to cram all of this into a small 3-hour window? Dude, there's no script. I just go with this shit on the fly. It makes me laugh. If it doesn't make you laugh, turn the fucking station. And by turn the station, I mean turn the wheel of your car right into a guardrail. Jesus, fuck. Hey, where are you going, boy?